Welcome to the Share the Transformation Initiative podcast. Ernst Fenelon Jr. here. I'm your host, and I'm excited as we move into episode 3. This is going to be the roadmap to transformation. In the trailer, we talked about what if we could bottle transformation. And in the work that I've done to codify transformation, at least what worked for me. And so we'll continue down this pathway. We talk about the book, 3 Things That Everybody Wants to Know About You in the 5-Step Plan for Life Success. And today we're going to get into the workshops that are designed under the Share the Transformation Initiative program. Transformation is holistic. It can't be just one part. It can't be just all mind or all body or all spirit. It has to be holistic. And so the workshops are designed to be stages or dimensions of transformation. If you look at the series of the workshops that are listed, those were the ones that helped me. And we're going to walk through them and come up with this roadmap so you can see how it becomes holistic. The first thing in understanding transformation, it begins with awareness. Awareness is the first step to change, and change is the first step to transformation. When you look at awareness is that idea that it begins with your mindset. See, the brain is an organ, right? Is this processing unit. But your mind is how it interprets the information. One of the first things that I had to learn in my awareness was understanding the difference between power that is outside, where you're disempowered and power is around you, and you're just basically being controlled by this power, and then the intrinsic understanding that power is internal. Any transformation that's going to be lasting is going to start internally first before it exhibits itself externally. The first stage of awareness has to become getting out of the blame game. The blame game is giving all power to whatever is working or not working to outside of you. In other words, blaming society, blaming the system, blaming others, blaming the weather, blaming it on the alcohol, right? Blaming on anything else outside of you. But once you become aware that you get to make the choices and you become empowered to make choices that may deal with your interaction with those outside forces, then you begin the first step. For me, getting out of the blame game was critical, and it took a while. Right after I was incarcerated, it took a while. It took roughly about close to 3 years where I was still in the blame game of blaming the prosecutor, the system, anything else but myself. Society, parents, anything. But that one night when I looked in the mirror, as I talked in the previous episodes, and just looked and realized, wait a minute, I have a choice. I can go left or I can go right. I can go up, I can go down. When I began to realize that I have power over the actions I get to take, and began to look at, I sometimes make great choices or good choices, and sometimes I make bad ones. What could I do to disempower the bad ones and then empower the good choices? And so how can I reinforce those choices? How did I make them? I began to study that in great detail. And in studying that began to get me understanding that the brain is the organ. It gets information. The mind is what processes and gives meaning to that information. Because see, at the end of the day, nothing has meaning other than what we give it. So if someone says, hey, or what's up, I get to interpret that as whether that is friend or foe, a threat or a welcome. And it's important because there'll be many things you use to interpret it. But you have to begin to also go deeper to, are you seeing things working for you or working against you? Are you optimistic or pessimistic? Understanding why you're either one of those is going to be critical, and you have to do a deep dive. So we do deep dives in understanding the academics of our natural world and our unnatural world for some. But the reality is we don't spend enough time in studying ourselves, understanding where our thoughts come from, our beliefs come from, understanding how do we get to shift those? And once you begin to shift your mindset and begin to get into your heart set, your soul set, begin to understand that there's different levels of intellect. Your gut has an intellect. Your heart has an intellect. Your spirit has an intellect. Once you begin to understand those have intellect, intuition, if for lack of a better word, then you can begin to tap into what drives those intuitions. So transformation has to be holistic before anything. Change is what most people call transformation. Change is what's often temporary because it is usually just attacking one area, your finance, your health, your wealth, your whatever may be the case, because you're not looking at the holistic. That famous song growing up, your knee bone's connected to your thigh bone is connected to your hip bone, it's all connected. And so until you look at transformation as being holistic, then it has a potential of not being permanent or lasting. I talk about the caterpillar when it goes into the cocoon. And when the caterpillar goes into the cocoon, prior to that, there's a shift internally that drives it to want to eat more and just keep eating. And then after a point, it gets to a point where it just stops and then it begins to create the cocoon. And then it goes in the cocoon. And in the process of going in the cocoon, it begins to change internally first, and then the external comes out. And then it comes out of the cocoon as a butterfly. It can never go back to being a caterpillar. And so this is where transformation is holistic and permanent. Now, you can backslide, but you will still be operating from that transformation. With the workshops, they are stages or dimensions of transformation. I think the first stage is spiritual. For me, in the book, I talk about the 5 F's. The 5 F's are faith, family, finance, fitness, and fun. Faith is your first one. And your faith is whatever you believe in, whether you believe in a higher power, believe in yourself, believe in the systems around you, whatever you believe in, that is your faith. But your spirituality, as I talk about it, is that essence of who you authentically are. So for me, being Muslim and believing in the Creator, that is who I authentically am spiritually. And so when we think of spiritual, the first workshop that I often would direct people to would be the Forgiveness and Healing workshop. In the Forgiveness and Healing workshop, we begin to delve into identifying, first of all, who do we think we are, right? What roles do we get to play? But then we get deeper into what forgiveness really is and diving into the power of forgiveness, not only in the sense of spirituality, but in physicality, right? Because when people who don't forgive live shorter than people who do. That's the basic science behind it. And so when we begin to look at that, I often tell people we need to delve into forgiveness and healing, because on the flip side of understanding forgiveness is healing. You can't start healing until you learn how to forgive, and that includes yourself. If I tell people, okay, who are the people that you want to forgive, make a list, and I say, how many you have yourself on there? Most people don't. So one of the keys comes in is you have to talk about self, right? Although we are all interconnected, which is my belief, is that we're all connected, you have to start with this part of self and begin to get that right. And you have to begin to be able to have compassion and empathy and guidance for yourself. And grace. I think grace is probably the biggest one. So for me, that first part, once I got out of the blame game, was learning how to forgive and to begin to heal, right? This radical love idea of loving myself through my worst mistakes and my best endeavors. Always asking that question, who I authentically am, connecting back into my humanity. That's the first stage. The next stage would be, I would say, is mental, your mindset, how you think. And for that workshop, I tell people go to the self-empowerment workshop. This is where you get more tools into operating about the mind. Again, the mind does a lot of interpretation. It is the processor of the information that the brain gets and the body gets. And so if you want to begin to move into transformation, you got to first understand how you think. So what are your beliefs? Do you believe the universe is conspiring against you or conspiring for you? Do you believe in coincidence or do you believe in opportunity? You have to begin to work into self-empowerment, into your mindset, really understanding the differences of how do you even talk to yourself? Understanding that that voice that you speak to yourself in is going to be critical, and understanding where that voice came from. And the other voices. Now, I'm not talking about the clinical issue where people are hearing voices that may be an issue of needing professional help. I'm talking about that voice that might be your dad or your mom or the person who raised you or the coach or the person who put you down all the time or the bullies or whoever it may be. They're the outside forces that shapes your own internal voice. So as you discover your own internal voice, how you speak to yourself, you need to hear the voices that shaped that voice. 95% of your thoughts are the same as they were the day before. You have a 5% window to change. So what books are you reading? What audio books are you listening to? Who are you? Who is your mentor? Who is your coach? Having those voices fill you up and guide that 5% to shift how you speak to yourself is going to be critical in structuring your transformation. The next stage is emotional. And in emotional, I go back to the forgiveness and healing class. Again, we talk about emotional regulation. The idea that all emotions are good. They're simply messengers. The question is, what is the message? Where did the message come from? Understanding, for me, the big revelation a few years ago was anger was a secondary emotion. What is the primary emotion? Is it embarrassment? Is it frustration? Is it annoyance? Is it irritation? Then going that next level below that is, why are you irritated? Why are you annoyed? Why are you embarrassed? I'll give you one for example. You're walking along and then you trip. You're able to catch your balance, but all of a sudden you feel this rush go through your face and you look around and you feel embarrassment because you tripped. As if that was not a human condition to trip once in a while. But we get embarrassed because people may have seen us, or we feel like we were somehow incompetent in taking that step. But the reality is it happens. Why are we embarrassed? So if we diffuse the embarrassment, then we diffuse what could be angry at the people who are laughing. At the end of the day, they're laughing out of their own ignorance or their own silliness. That's how I perceive it, and that's what I'm trying to hold into. But if I flash in the moment, that's because I've become reactive rather than responsive. And again, those were some of the tools we talked about. Moving out of reactive and moving into responsive. How do I want to respond to this moment? After that would be relational. And I would say that would be the autobiography writing class, the health and wellness, and the art or creative expression. I think all three of those tie into our relational, and our most important relation is with ourselves. So with the autobiography writing, we begin to break down the chapters. We begin to dive into early life, midlife, current life, being aware of what your narrative is, being aware of the factors that shaped your narrative, being aware of the people who are affected and the events. So you can become aware and have a relation with all of those things that make you who you are today. With the health and wellness, again, relational, going back to the holistic approach, understanding your health and wellness is multi-level. You have to understand, yes, you can exercise, but how you sleep, how you hydrate, how you don't scroll or look at electronics just before sleeping, how you wake up, how you go to the bathroom even. All of those things are the holistic approach to health and wellness. And creative expression is that ability to express yourself, that ability to write or dance or move or create in whatever way you want to. You know, in this world that we're moving into where they're so focused on STEAM, right? Science, technology, engineering, and math, they leave out art. And I think part of our humanity and humaneness is in art. How are you creatively expressing yourself? So creative expression is really important. That relationship with myself first, right? Because you can't give what you don't have. I got to love myself. I got to like myself. I need to care for myself to sincerely be able to love, like, and care for others. If I call it love, but I don't love myself, then it may be more of possession and obsession rather than love, right? Having a title on the relationship rather than actual care. And these are the levels that I'm beginning to understand and move into. Next would be professional. Professional would be going into the career development or the business, or both, actually, career development and business. One of the things that drives me kind of cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs is the idea that when people are beginning to build their profession, they tell somebody, just go get a job. If they're struggling, they're challenged, get any job. And I often say, you know what, that's not going to be helpful. Yeah, it might pay the bills temporarily, but again, if we're talking about transformation, you're going to want to tie into what career do you want to go into? Now, there's a lot of tools out there that help you with defining what your inventory, your personal inventory. Do you like to work outside? Do you like to work with computers? Do you like to work with people? Do you like fast-paced, slow-paced? Do you want to cook? Do you want, like, really getting clear what your personal inventory and skill set and heart set? Sometimes you know, in 3 things that everybody wants to know about you in the 5-step plan for life success, I talk about that. You might be great at something, but maybe that's not the career you want to go into. So I'll give you an example. For me, I used to be very great at paperwork. I used to be really good at paperwork, particularly legal paperwork. So I was fortunate to be able to litigate and learn about law while incarcerated, constitutional law. So when I got out, that was the field I went into. But what I found out was I did not enjoy law for several reasons. Number one, cases took forever to get any kind of justice. And then when justice was served, in a lot of cases, it felt hollow. A lot of cases, people ran out of time by dying, or people ran out of time or energy or resources to sustain the lawsuit. And for me, that was very troubling because justice was averted due to them not having resources. Also, there was a salary cap. Like, I was working 6 days a week, almost 12 hours a day, and I didn't have a life in a salary cap. And I was just like, okay, is this what I want to really do the rest of my life? And for me, that was not the case. I wanted to do something else. Something else was calling my heart. And I was very fortunate to come across financial services because, and we'll talk about that in a minute, which led me into more of a public speaking and tapping into my real heart where I wanted to help people. I wanted to help the people who are left behind. You know, there's all these slogans and no family left behind, whether it's education or other things. But people are left behind. They don't fit the criteria. And so I wanted to impact those people left behind, those families left behind in different ways. So that's moved me all the way to where I am now. So just because you're good at something, that doesn't mean you want to do it. And so I asked that question in the book. What are you great at? What is it that you want to do? And then what is it that you can do, right? What is going to be that thing that might be able to help you pay your bills? That's your work. What is that hobby or that thing that you love? That becomes the love of your life. Again, if you do what you love for work, then you never end up working a day in your life. With the business class, for those who want to be entrepreneurs, what is that idea that keeps you up at night? As I said, I wanted to move into helping people. There were a lot of organizations out there, but still people were not being helped enough. So I've moved into an organization that helps organizations to expand, to have more capacity, to help more people, right? That's what Stewart's mission. And so we go into the business idea of what is your idea? How do you develop it? What are the first steps in research and development of your business? And how do you get into that? So we cover that, and that's in the professional. And finally, the financial intelligence class. So we talk about the financial intelligence workshop. What I've learned in my 60 years on the planet is that while I have learned to be literate about money, I could tell you about the rule of 72, compound interest, the purpose of saving, budgeting. I am very literate. However, I haven't been super intelligent about it. I contend, and what I mean by that is I would make money and then it would be gone. I'd make more money and it would be gone. And I'd make even more money than that and it would be gone. So I did not set up the proper structure. And I needed to investigate, if I'm literate, why am I not setting up the proper structure? Or even after I set up the proper structure, what was happening? And I realized, once again, looking at the holistic approach, there was something happening in my mindset. There was something happening in the subconscious, something happening where I did not feel safe, something that was happening where I was in survival mode. Survival mode can operate in the background long after you're out of the situation, and there would create those fluctuations. So I'm at the stage where I'm really focusing in as I learn financial intelligence, is also learning mindset, also learning heart set, also learning gut intelligence, heart intelligence, body intelligence, and spotting where am I still not transformed? Where did I change, but where did I not transform? And the deepest part has been in the subconscious, the relationships with money, the beliefs about money, the conversations internally about money. I'm shifting all of those with the work I get to do now. And I'm excited to share with you, as we said, we're in the doing. I begin to make these shifts and begin to grow my financial stability and agility that will put me into a place where I will be able to operate from a holistic point that will help me to improve my health, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, professionally, and of course, financially. With the financial, under Stewart's mission is TGS Financial Systems. TGS Financial Systems has the traditional financial literacy. Additionally, we have the Crib Save Up app that is the technology, AI, accountability, gamification. It will allow us to continue the process because most financial literacy programs are designed to be, again, a part of the whole. They focus in on one part and they don't look at the whole. And in focusing on the one part, once the course is over, there's usually no continuum of the conversation. So our goal is to create a continuum of conversation all the way through to homeowner, landowner, generational wealth, and community and societal good. That's our goal. We have a structure that continues the accountability and relationship long after the fundamentals are over. See, a lot of people want transformation, but transformation doesn't happen by accident. It doesn't happen in one step. It doesn't happen in a part. It happens in a whole when there's structure, accountability, education, healing, preparation, and action. That's why I created the Share the Transformation Initiative program. Not just to inspire people, but to walk people through the transformation step by step. S stands for Self-Mastery Solutions. Self-initiative development or reimagining accountability. Intentional mindset and solution-oriented decision-making skills. H stands for Holistic Healing. Holistically addressing the interconnectedness across cognitive processes, behavioral health, physical wellness, and identity development. A is for awareness. Awareness of dignity, trauma, emotional intelligence, and life strategy methods. R is for restoration. Reconnecting to the authentic self, reintegration, support, and community connection. E stands for economic empowerment, financial literacy, financial intelligence, practicing wealth building, education, and generational impact. The Share the Transformation Initiative is bigger than the workshop. It's about helping people rebuild their lives, rediscover their value, and realize that transformation is possible regardless of their past. As we wrap up, here are some of the action steps. Of course, like, share, leave a positive comment, share the podcast with anyone who you think will benefit from it. Share what value you got from it in your comments, as well as with the person you shared with. We're looking to connect and collaborate with individuals and organizations who want to empower more people. We look forward to bringing the curriculum to communities. So if you have any ideas or want to share in that process, we'd love to hear from you. And lastly, MIA, take massive immediate action. From all the podcasts, from each of the tips that you take away today, action steps. Remember that transformation is holistic. We look forward to seeing you for the next episode. Stay focused and take care.